Hello and welcome back to Level of Detail, brought to you by the Games Development Department here at Staffordshire University. I'm David James and I'm the Course Director for Games Design, and I'm joined again by my lovely guests from the last episode. We've got Jennifer Challenor and Emma Fallows, who you'll remember are both games art lecturers. In our last episode we played Skyrim, or the start of Skyrim anyway, and we didn't quite get to the open world part. So we're going to keep the open world theme going though and jump into one of the most popular open world games, Breath of the Wild, The Legend of Zelda, on the Switch. So let's have a chat about open world games, how they're designed, and we're going to play this from the top. So let's jump in. You haven't played Breath of the Wild.
You sound so offended. No.
So you're going to jump straight in and just get us started with this, aren't you?
Yes. I suppose I can try it for the first time. Maybe it'll be a new passion in my life.
Indeed.
You never know.
There you go. I don't quite remember how friendly the game is at the start about telling you the controls of everything, so we're going to figure that out, right? I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
I mean, I usually just ignore all of that anyway and then just go ham on it, so it's fine.
That's all good. No, I do know this because you mentioned it sort of before we started recording, but you haven't played a Zelda. Not only have you not played Breath of the Wild, and you haven't played a Zelda game full stop.
No, so
Explain
I guess...
yourself.
Explain yourself. I guess I just found myself always gravitating towards other games throughout my life. Obviously, like when I had a Game Boy Color, I would always play Pokemon Yellow, and I just kind of gravitated towards Pokemon generally. And then I got onto the Mario hype, and I don't know why, but I never fit in that time just to actually try Zelda as well. I don't know why. Probably maybe if I was a teenager or a child, I just probably didn't have the money. And then as I grew up, I did this thing called a job, and then I just didn't have time.
Any excuse.
I know.
No, that's fine. That's a bit like me. I think like Sonic. So I've got a blind spot for Sonic the Hedgehog, which we can probably talk about on another episode.
Disgusting.
What about Breath of the Wild for yourself, Jennifer? Any real experience with this?
Not with this one. I've played the Minish Cap.
Sure.
And I've never finished it, but I have played the Ocarina of Time. So
brilliant game.
A little bit of experience, but not quite as much as yourself.
No, I mean, before we get carried away on that, I haven't spent that long on this game, but I did play the one on the SNES a lot, the A Link to the Past. That's one of my favourite games of all time, and the soundtrack was amazing. All right, I will happily bang on about Breath of the Wild in a moment or two, but open world games in general then. Have you got a favourite then? That's obviously not, you can't say Skyrim, I know that you've
No, there's quite a few. Honestly, if it was down to hours, I played a lot of Minecraft. But no, to be fair, I'd probably say my favourite is just down to art style, complexity, the amount it engages you. I would probably say Sea of Thieves. I think that's a really, really good game. And then for just something that's so utterly stunning to me, Elden Ring was fantastic as well.
Amazing. Yeah. Wonderful game. What about yourself, Jennifer?
Well, there's one that I'm rather fond of, a game called Kenshi. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, but I couldn't tell you the first thing about it. So please, go on, tell me.
Well, you start out and it throws you into this sort of brutal, barren landscape on this very alien world where there's basically been an apocalypse and you are surviving in the aftermath of it. And it tells you nothing about the world, it gives you no real survival information, but you need food, you need water, you need sleep, and everyone is out to kill you to take what you've got.
Yeah.
And the whole experience is just constantly trying to figure out how to stay alive and eventually how to start thriving in this world. And I've never played anything quite like it, but I love it.
That leaves you to your own devices so much.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the draw for me of games like Elden Ring as well. I mean, Elden Ring obviously isn't quite as, maybe doesn't go quite that far, but those games, Elden Ring, the Souls games, the Bloodborne, they all rely on that lack of information to the player, don't they? And it's about piecing together what's going on. And this game's got a bit of that as well. I've got no idea what's going on at the minute. You're just basically a child in a cave. So get us out of here, Em.
Without a shirt as well. Can he put some clothes on, please?
That is on us to find, I think. So get us out of here. Get out of this cave.
I have no idea.
Jump, X.
You jump? Oh my.
There you go. And this is one of the things with this game. It's the climbing mechanic like that you use at the very start, and you have to use to even get out of the cave, is used throughout the rest of the game. Use it to climb up trees, use it to climb up mountains, which it's showing you now. You even use it to climb up like some big bosses to beat them. So this is one of the things that I love about this game and open world games in general, is when you reuse those same mechanics again and again and again, but like, you know, in different ways. There you go, just in case you forgot what we're playing. There's a bit of B-roll, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Right, I think it's sends, here you go. So it sends you down there. So this is one of the things I love as well. With an open world game, like when we're talking about these, you know, we're talking about Legend of Zelda, I suppose, like Elden Ring, even like sort of Grand Theft Auto as well. So anything that puts the player in a big open space. And how they choose to kind of like lead and guide the player around a big open space is interesting. You know, we do it with like little maps like we've got down the corner of the screen, but they also do it with like the level design and sort of drawing the player's attention. Like this mountain will arc around now that M's sort of following towards the most interesting thing you can see, which is that castle. So, you know, they do it in quite a natural way, which is awesome. Why do you think, Jennifer, why do you think open world games then, or, because I mean, I rattled a few off the top of my head, then Grand Theft Auto, Elden Ring, and you know, even this and Skyrim and whatnot. What do you think draws people's attention to them? Like, why are they so popular?
I think it's a combination of two things, really. I think the first is going to be this sense of exploration. You know, whenever you play a new game, there's this whole world to explore. And when a game just throws you into it and says, right up you pop, it's a good experience. It's nice to get that feeling of finding things or getting lost or having these little adventures.
Yeah.
And I think the other really big thing that kind of motivates people towards open world is the feeling of just existing in this game world, that you're a part of this new landscape, and that, you know, whatever adventure happens now, this is your story.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just paused for a minute because I thought Anna was going to beat that guy who's the first nice person you meet in this. Just going to beat him with a flaming stick. You tried to hit him, didn't you?
No.
Okay.
Maybe.
What about yourself then? Why, you know, anything sort of add to that, like why these games are so popular?
It's definitely, like, obviously what Jennifer said, it's the exploration sort of element to it. So it's the feeling of feeling free. I think it's been quite common for games to feel quite restrictive in some ways. And I think that can definitely frustrate the player. And obviously, in an open world scenario, you have that complete freedom. And it's so refreshing, I think, for the player to be able to choose their own destiny almost with where they take it. Because you can obviously, in most cases, you have like the main quests, but you also have the side quests. And I think people love having choice.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. I'd agree with that. Absolutely. Speak to him.
He's calling me and I'm scared. Is he going to give me a shirt?
I
hope so.
We can hope, right? I mean, there you go. There you go.
Oh.
Follow the Sheikah slate. Let's go.
I wasn't expecting this.
I know, that's it. So that's not as far away as it looks, I don't think. So just go get it. Just leg it. Ignore him now. I love how you've just been talking about like freedom. I'm like, yeah, forget that. Just go there. Let's leg it. Let's leg it.
I can see something shiny.
Yeah,
I think that's another thing people like about open worlds. It's like, ooh, discoveries.
Absolutely, yeah, and how they draw your attention to. I mean, you could have just decided to just carry on and left that, but like how they sort of catch your attention. There you are climbing. Oh, that's your shin's blown out. It's fine. Don't matter.
I like discovering things. I like to see what I can find. So I think open world suits me in that way.
One of the challenges I've sort of seen when we talk about doing open world games is. I've heard the phrase like a mile wide but an inch deep, like when it comes to like complexity, you know, like so you can, it's actually pretty easy to make a massive game, he says in quote marks, easy, but like to make it actually worthwhile being in that space, you know, to actually make it worthwhile exploring and doing anything there, it's tricky. That was excellent. Do that, that's Anne again, give him the business. Oh.
I wonder how you dodge. Is there like a certain
press all the buttons. Oh.
Oh my, never mind.
There you go. Any attack that causes you to... I'm reading this, I've never seen it before.
He has my stick. Oh! Yeah, okay.
You've got to go get something else hit him with.
I do. I have a feeling he wants to hurt me, so...
Yeah. I'm like a useless AI companion. I'm like, go get something to hit him with. It's like, yeah, no. And
I wonder if I climb a tree, you can get to me.
I don't know if you can, but I think they do shoot arrows sometimes. So if you try and climb up there, he throw rocks at you. Like, this isn't his first rodeo. Yeah, this is not his first rodeo. So, yeah.
God, that's so rude.
Is this the plan? Is this where we are? We'll live out the rest of our lives. So we got 5 minutes in.
Should I get me now, hon?
Yeah, we'll just live.
I'll let you take over from here.
Okay.
Do something incredibly impressive, Jennifer. Just like, not that wasn't impressive, Emma, but just like.
Impressive for me.
Where did he? Oh.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's fine. We'll be okay.
That was definitely some goo.
I mean, we've got to be able to find something that isn't just a stick. There's got to be something more substantial that you can sort of whop something one with.
I'm sure we'll find something.
I do love the colour palette of this game.
It's beautiful.
It's so pretty.
Yeah. I remember in the previous episode you were talking a bit about stylized.
Yes.
And this went that route as well, didn't it?
Yeah, what I love about it is like there's no really harsh shadows. So what I really like about it is that everything's quite soft. But then kind of contrasting with that, the character's quite obviously like cell shaded in the way that it's like quite sharp in the shading angles. Yeah. So it's really interesting to see how the character's actually standing out more because of that.
Yeah, no, it's
on
cool.
The softness. I really like that.
What just happened?
I think they threw a barrel at me and then they vanished.
It was like mutually assured destruction. I think you barreled yourself and them. I'd get that munched on. Don't
I genuinely thought that was a t-shirt hanging, and I thought he was going to be able to put a t-shirt.
Yeah. If we're going to do anything in this short playthrough, it's going to be get this guy bloody dressed.
Yes.
The absolute state of this.
It's the mother in me. I'm like, I'm sure you're cold.
Now this is one of those as well where like, so obviously your waypoint's down the bottom left. You're choosing to go the opposite direction to that.
I was wondering where things were.
That's what blew up.
Yeah, it was.
I'm trying to see if I can get one of the barrels so I can throw them.
That guy's up there with it. This has all gone immediately pear-shaped. Right.
That's a matter of perspective, I think.
Yeah, you're dead. well, the tape will decide.
Okay. It's fine.
Game over could mean anything. Yeah. Let's go again. You're just smashing the ribs with a bat. Brutal.
I will admit I didn't expect the picking up the barrel animation to take quite as long as it did.
No, that's fair.
It's fine. Okay, maybe let's not go that way until we've got something to fight with.
The shape of the cave was cool. Did you notice that it was in like the shape of like a skull? I think?
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's lots of little bits like that, I think, in this, like, like the hazardous areas. Like, it's not that subtle, but you can figure it out at a glance whether it's going to be a good time or not.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Jennifer? Like when it comes to designing an open world game, or even from like the artistic side, like what are some of the things we need to bear in mind? What are some of the challenges?
Well, I think from a design side particularly, you've got the issue that if your world's going to be open, players need things to do in it. Mm-hmm. Now, recently I picked up Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Right.
And before I bought it, I looked up some reviews, and people were saying the same thing, which is you've got this whole island to explore, but there's not really anything to find.
Yeah.
And to me, that wasn't really a deal breaker. I thought, you know what, I don't really care. I haven't played Ghost Recon in so long, I'm kind of willing to deal with that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, people were getting frustrated because the primary game mode involves sort of, leveling up and ranking up items and doing the whole looter-shooter thing. So it kind of wanted you to go searching for better things. But people found that there just wasn't really enough to do. And I think that's definitely something to keep in mind, that you've got to give the players something they can find, things they can do, even if it's little secrets, even if it's extra resources or equipment.
Yeah.
Otherwise, effectively, you've thrown them into a big world and not really given much thought into why you're doing an open world.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Yeah, and that ties in with what you were saying as well about like just rewarding them constantly, like just in little bits, like either with items, shiny things, or just cool looking stuff.
Shiny things.
Yeah, but literally shiny things in this, isn't it? Like stuff, like again, like in the Souls game, stuff literally kind of twinkles to draw your attention to it, which is pretty cool.
Still haven't found anything I can fight with.
No.
I'm wildly concerned about that.
I did see a stick when I was on my way down.
Let's get ourselves all nice and sticked up. Let's get sticked up to the nine. There you go. What's that?
A pigeon.
I believe that's an animal.
I mean, anything can be a weapon if you try hard enough, right?
My inner vegan is screaming at that comment.
Maybe we just didn't want it enough. Right. Here's the logic I'm going through. Stick, trees.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Squirrel.
I mean,
You can fling a squirrel.
Again, absolutely. This game, I mean, there's so much more it could let you do. Maybe in the sequel.
Yeah.
That comes out later this year, doesn't it?
It does indeed, Breath of the Wild. Do you know when, like, specifically?
I don't, unfortunately.
I'll book a bit of time off.
I think the main challenge with like open world games though is like just maintaining engagement.
Yes.
Because you tend to find that obviously when you're playing in an open world game, it's really easy to get bored. And obviously Jennifer's already touched on this anyway, but it's like you need to be constantly given things to engage with. And I think that can be quite challenging for an artist. And obviously for anybody that's working on the game, because you need to be thinking of ways in which you can make it more exciting for the player, and obviously just making it fun for them to actually stay engaged.
Can I hit things with this?
Can you hit things with that? I think so.
Branch, yes.
Yes, branched. Right.
There we go. Right, we found it.
Let's go to that waypoint. Whatever's there, friendly or not, it's getting the business end of this branch.
Okay.
I think that's the way we go.
So how do I change? There we go. Right, we've got the tree running. And what's the button to hit things with?
Press them all. That's the worst that can happen.
That one.
What's the worst?
Yeah.
There you go.
Wise.
Sweet. And if you hold it down, does it do a vintage sound?
Ooh,
Right,
there you go.
that's
Charge
cool.
attack.
There you go. You might have told us that in a pop-up.
I probably ignored it.
Yeah. It's fine. You mentioned Sea of Thieves. And like, when we talk about open world games, there's so much we could talk about, be it just single player like this or Sea of Thieves, and then you've got those that kind of sit a bit in the middle like Elden Ring, where it's occasionally multiplayer, occasionally it's not. There's a lot of challenges. They are ultimately very different games, but we know, we've had some students go to work on Sea of Thieves.
Yes.
Is that correct? Yeah, quite recently as well, if memory serves. Do you know what art they worked on there, like characters, environments? Or?
Yeah, so my partner works there, and he is one of the tech artists at the game.
Amazing.
And I know he absolutely adores what he does. He says, like, all the time, I really want to tell you what's going on, but I can't. Like, he absolutely adores working on that game because it's so varied. Like, you have the story side of it, you have so many different components and things that are always changing. And it's so interesting to him, like, how many different things he could be working on at one time, especially as a technical artist, because I think tech artists definitely, like, I think within the industry as a whole, it can mean different things sometimes in different roles. So obviously, for my partner, he absolutely adores, what he does and like the roles that he gets given. So yeah, it's really interesting to see it from that perspective.
No, that's awesome. No, very cool, very cool. Jennifer, do you know any students who've gone to sort of work on games that we could tentatively describe as open world, or?
Yes. I've had students go to Rockstar before, so they've worked on various titles there. My good friend Ted, who I study alongside, he's credited as a vehicle artist on GTA Online. He's worked on Red Dead 2.
Amazing.
So, yeah, we've had people go there. Again, I taught her partner, so... Yeah. Small world, right? But that's, I mean, there's so many opportunities, and I say this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like, these games are sort of, they live or die by the variety of the art, and like it's not just the gameplay, it's the visual experience as well. If it all was just like homogenous and just, I mean, this goes between sort of like grassland to volcanoes. This is timed really well. Back to grassland. I think it showed some ice a minute ago, whatever. But like, that variety, making the player feel like they're moving through different spaces and actually progressing, is really important. So, when you mention like GTA, and a vehicle artist, the amount of different vehicles, the amount of different assets you need, so it doesn't break that illusion of, I am in a computer game and the same like Fiat 500's driven past, like, 100 times, or the GTA equivalent of the Fiat 500, whatever that would be called.
Well,
I don't really know much about what they do. He's not allowed to tell me anything, but...
well, he shouldn't. There you go then. That's it. And it's good that your partner doesn't tell you anything either. We're respecting the NDA.
They do.
You know, that's super important.
Right, so I found a sword and I found a tower. Can you find us a shirt?
Right, there is a part of me that is... I'm sure when I first played this, I did exactly the same. And I was just like, why have I spent hours running around as this topless person? And I was Googling it, and people weren't having the same problem. I think there's a shirt right back at the start of the game before you left that cave. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not joking. So,
well, we're rolling with it now, aren't we?
No. Before we wrap up this episode, I need to get a top on. So, we'll work our way back to the cave. Yeah. Right, there you go. I've got to go over there, ultimately, but we're going to disregard that. And these games can also be about making your own fun, right?
Yes.
So my fun is going to be getting covered up.
I think one of the things as well that can be like the most challenging is when somebody's in an open world game, it can become very tedious to obviously get to certain quests and certain like things that they want to do. Like let's say they want to get to the other side of the map. So what I tend to see is like one of the main focus points is definitely like forms of travel. So different open world games offer things like teleportation, vehicles, obviously ways of being able to get to another place on the map quicker. I tend to find that's quite often explored. Yeah. What you do the splits, Bab? What a way to
go. I forgot, but a bit later on in the game you get a parachute, and I haven't got it yet, so gravity got the better of me. Sorry. Go on. So I'm distracted with my ineptitude there.
No, I just think it's always interesting to see like how the game itself explores that. Because obviously some places, like some games literally just use like dash, you know, really fast and things like that. It's really interesting, like in, I think it was The Sims 3, they had an open world feature where you could actually walk around the whole like sort of like world that you're in.
Yeah.
They did get rid of that in The Sims 4, but in The Sims 3, like they did things like bicycles as well, like to be able to get around certain places.
Did they replace it with anything even similar in The Sims 4?
No,
they got rid of it. They just got rid of that entirely.
They basically made it so that you couldn't just zoom out into the world, which I thought was a bit of a shame, to be honest. I mean, I'm an avid Sims player, so I have a lot of opinions, but I think The Sims 3 obviously I think got it right in that way, but I did notice that the game would crash a lot more and obviously would run a lot slower at times because obviously your computer's working harder to process the whole world. They do have like some kind of gimmicky almost feature where in Sims 4 you do have this option of being able to like sort of go to things that are very, very close by. So if you're inside a town, you can go to like the surrounding buildings like right next to you and you can get that sense of being in an open world.
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't to me give you the same effect.
How did you get up here? Is this the quickest way down that I'm taking?
I don't know, the tower just sort of emerged from the landscape.
Right. So this is part of the puzzle then. Oh, I'm not going to be able to get... There's no way. There's no way I'm going to have time to get to...
You're gutted, aren't you?
I'm so gutted.
You want that t-shirt?
You used to be able... I mean, you can normally fast travel, but it's not letting me do that yet. If I can just get to the ground, I can hold down the run button and leg it back to that cave.
So we're going to end where we started, like in the same cave.
Poetic.
That was our open world experience. We sort of ran around for a bit, looked for some sticks.
We basically went to the shops and came home. Right. And let me tell you, that's encapsulates all. But look at that in the background. Enjoy that. Take this moment to appreciate. It is really nice.
I love the colour palette. It's so aesthetic. It's so like pastel-y. I love it.
The art direction in this is one of my favourite things. Like, there's a lot of criticism of Zelda because for like the fact that, as you've seen, the weapons break, and all the weapons break for the most part. So, like, people were like, "Oh, I hate that mechanic."
So does Minecraft. Get over it.
Can I drop from here? I've got no sense of height, so yay! Right, quick, leg it. Oh no, not cutscene. See, if I'd have got that.
It looks like Santa but Assassin's Creed.
Love it. Love it. Just come on. Skip. Sorry for the people at home when I'm skipping this really quickly. again, I think I've set my stall up for what I want to do. But
I love how he's just called Old Man.
he
doesn't even have a name.
Yeah. Okay.
We need to give him
Plot,
a name.
plot.
What do I think we should call him?
Gary.
His name is revealed in a bit.
Until then,
It's
he's
Gary.
tentatively Gary.
Right. There may need to be a Breath of the Wild Part 2 of the level of detail.
The quest for the shirt.
The quest, the quest for just decency.
We're not out to save the kingdom, we're just out to find a shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. I just hand it over. That was an option. He's given me his paraglider.
Oh.
Bit late.
The fact you had a paraglider before a shirt,
Yeah.
that's...
Fine. Right, here we go. Very quickly. No. Go. Right, off. Right.
How do you sprint?
Oh, B.
Oh.
But this is one of the things as well with Breath of the Wild, like the stamina, like he runs out.
Oh.
You get, very poor.
Does it do the
Very
thing
poor
that,
stamina.
Does it do the thing Shadow of the Colossus does, where you can upgrade it over time?
Absolutely. Yeah, there'll be things you can't climb up and things like that you have to sort of upgrade your stamina so you can get up there.
It's not the only game that does that. I mean, RuneScape does that.
Yeah, no, it's RuneScape.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
I started playing that in like 2009.
There you go. So yeah, none of these are new mechanics as such. Just Breath of the Wild did a pretty good job of like this stamina. That stamina wheel is used for everything: climbing, running. Like loads of things it's used for. So again, it's a nice idea. It's that nice idea of like the same mechanic used repeatedly.
I guess it is nice.
Getting
in
nowhere
Assassin's
quick.
Creed.
Getting
Like,
nowhere quick.
You don't have to worry about that being Assassin's Creed. You can kind of just do what you want, and you don't have to worry about like the stamina kind of element. Or is there?
I'm not sure about the later ones. I think the last one I really played properly was 4.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you just
Oh my
whatever.
God.
Just ignore that. I've got other things on. I've got stuff on.
Got priorities.
Yeah. I'll deal with you later. Another show. Right, where was I? Very quickly. Oh, I'm nearly there.
Where's that? Was that an axe in front of us?
Don't matter. Oh, I'm fast travelling.
Maybe
It didn't let me do that at the top of the tower.
Did it need to trigger the cutscene?
Yeah, maybe.
Probably.
There you go. Right, let's get myself all kitted up.
Because Emma forgot the shirt.
Doesn't matter. It's my fault. I've lived this, and I should have said, but I forgot. So.
At least I remember the trousers.
Yeah. I mean, good lord. Right. Which way did we come from? Was this the way we come from? Right. Did you open this?
No, I don't think so.
Hooray!
That makes sense.
There it is. Let's get that on.
Our quest is over, the day is
There you
saved, we
go.
have a shirt.
Easiest game. Look at that. Perfect.
Hey.
Decent.
Nice
Right.
and warm.
On that note, I think we'll leave it there.
That's fair. That's fair.
So we've talked about open world games, had a little chat about it, and we've covered approximately about 30 meters. But we'll cover the rest of that perhaps another time. So thank you very much for joining us. Again, remember, if you want to see more stuff like this, we've got a bunch of other videos, previous episodes on our YouTube channel, so please take a look. Otherwise, that's all from me. Thank you to my brilliant guests, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.